Hey guys, I got some cool news for today. I might have a lead on where I can get the engine and rest of the parts hot tanked or steam cleaned. And I want to check it out today. And I also want to bring my parts to show them today. So I guess that means I gotta start, getting some of this apart.
Welcome back. That's right, we're getting closer to finishing the first engine. Like I said, if I want to clean this thing up, I need to further disassemble it, and for some reason I neglected the heads in the overall engine teardown video.
Well, shit. That's what I get for buying the cheap one.
I was going to take the valves out and do a valve job, but this cheapo spring compressor refused to be useful. So I'll settle for just getting the rest of the freeze plugs out.
Hey, check it out, this one rusted through all on its own.
Then I went to get my parts appraised, but before cleaning them, I decided to do some more work. Which also means I had an excuse to finally get an engine stand. Yay! I packed the water jacket with as much evaporust coated towels as I could, and then went to hone the engine. There's no way to get all the pitting out, but I just want to clean it up a little, and the evaporust is because I'm not doing any sort of acid bath, it's just a steam clean. Now to the delaminated bearings. I don't have any patience, so we went straight to violence. I was able to get the front one out with minimal damage, and the rear didn't put up a fight at all. Or maybe that was my honed technique. Anyway, I did nick them just a bit, so I cleaned them up. This step was really unnecessary, but I love cast parts. I do not love Flash. I hate Flash. It sucks. So I gave the engine a bit of a manicure, then cleaned the whole thing. The heads also got doused with evaporust and had all the hard edges rounded over, and were cleaned with a brush too. Then it was off to my machine shop. Wow! They were gorgeous when I got them back a few days later. You may find the lack of oil surprising, but you have to remember my climate, I don't really need that. But it's going to be a few months before I work on these again, so I did oil them and pack them away. You can also see some clues about this car's history, but that's for later. So, enough time has passed, and I'm getting back to work on this. Here are those scratches I mentioned. I think they'll be fine. I thought I could 3D print some bearing tools, but the sharp edges just cut my pushers, so I had to resort to more, primitive measures. They did receive a few boo-boos, but I'm sure it'll be fine. This is my Cuban rebuild engine after all. It's gonna be nasty, and I'm only replacing 2 bearings, so, it's not like I care too much. Although the truth is, this engine is in pretty great shape. The oil pan isn't doing too hot though. I think it hit a rock. So time to fix that. It's not perfect. It's never gonna be perfect again, and it's never gonna even look good again, but I think this is serviceable. And it's not gonna be missing a quart of oil because that huge dent was in it. Luckily, this engine only uses 2 sizes of freeze plugs, but the 2-incher is really hard to find. And actually, you know what? Story time. I got the small guys at O'Reilly's and had to look elsewhere for the big boys. So I walk into AutoZone and ask the lady where the freeze plug aisle is. Make and model. I swear, man, I almost went postal. Forget make and model, how about diameter? Anyway, no, that AutoZone did not have freeze plugs, or a freeze plug aisle, and I had to go to 3 separate Napas. This is what, I don't know, kind of pisses me off sometimes. But anyway, forget about that, and check out the damage on the timing cover. This makes the damage on the rest of the car pretty obvious. The water pump is sheared right off, and I guess whatever did this also exploded the balance shaft bearings too. I can't complain too much, it looks like the last guy did a pretty good fix, and it's just a water pump, it doesn't really matter. This is also when I discovered that the exhaust cup things, seals, I don't know. Yeah, they come off, by the way. It's not a separate casting. It is a separate casting. It's not part of the engine block. It's kind of neat. I guess it's an extra part for me to paint a funny color, but, that doesn't matter. The pulleys on the water pump are not supposed to come off, however. Yeah, I'm not getting that back on. Where I live, I really don't need to worry about expansion in the engine, and I found old RTV on the old plugs, so I'm using it on mine. I'm sure it's fine. Now paint. I know, I'm doing things out of order, but guess what? I don't care. As a machinist, I really love this engine. It's so cool, and I want to highlight the casting detail and machined surfaces, so my masking scheme will make a little more sense later. This, on the other hand, oh yeah, that's just me being too lazy to get more tape. Not my best work, but I'm in luck, because its paint doesn't normally stick to, oil, brake cleaner, or, actually, now that I think about it, paint doesn't really survive inside of an engine that long, so if I miss any, it's probably fine. I think it looks sweet, and the wrinkle paint really adds to the casting texture. I just love it. So I gave the rest of the parts the exact same treatment. Then high temp clear coat. Does it make sense now? I'm trying to make sure all of the machined surfaces are, well, they're not in the white because they have a finish on them, but that finish is paint. But it's pretty close, and you can see all the machining marks, and I just think it's cool, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because this is gonna get beat up, but who cares? I had plenty of fun, and it looks good. But I want to leave this video with the last of the painting, because the truth is, I haven't finished rebuilding the engine. So, I should probably get back to work. So I'll see you next time.